let's dive into it. Okay, so I've been going down all the rabbit holes because I just feel like personally you have to look at every single avenue, every single connection, every single thing. I personally don't feel like that was done in this case, so I'm going to do my best to dig as deep as I possibly can. And this is something that I found to be rather interesting. Also, if it gets loud, there are people outside screaming, so just FYI. First things, why is this officer at the corner club? That's definitely the same man. That's 100% the same man. Why is he at the corner club at the same time Maddie and Kaylee are at the corner club? And why is he hanging out with Adam and Jack S? Also, I thought Jack S doesn't know Kaylee, but Adam sitting on the stool is Jack D's roommate, and Jack D and Kaylee have dated since middle school. So I'm just curious, do we frequently hang out at college-aged clubs as a police officer? And did this police officer ever mention anywhere that he was at the same bar as the two girls on the same night that they were last seen alive? Because I'm just curious if that's why he was sweating bullets up on this podium. Because what's going on here? Because the more and more I dig, it's more and more looking like a good old boys club. The more and the more that I find, it is looking very much exactly like that. Then we have this guy down here at the bottom. I don't know who that is, but it looks like that is someone that is serving. So I'm just interested to know why this cop never spoke about being at the same place. And what was he talking to Adam about? What was he talking to Jack S about? What were you guys chatting about? Good old boy stuff? I also want to point this out, just because this is someone writing on this forum, right? And they're writing on this forum within the time frame that this crime happened, okay? And there's a lot of very, very descriptive information. A lot. And again, alarming that none of this was ever put out in the media and none of this was ever talked about. I don't see, was there any follow-up on this? Did anybody dive into this forum? Did anybody write any of this down or take notes and say like, we're gonna dive into this a little bit? So we have this thing that someone wrote out. Witness, Jack S. David L., David B. feud with Ethan and Xana. Jack S. knows. Well, we've heard that Ethan got into an altercation at the frat party and it was regarding these men. But then apparently everybody was like, oh no, that didn't happen. But then Xana's mom was like, yes, that did happen because she called her dad and talked to her dad about it. Now we have, you guys can read, and it also says that Adam L., the Davids, and Jack D. are who unalived Hudson and tossed his body in a creek. Jack S. knows. Kaylee dumps Jack and doesn't want him back, possibly. We're not going to spread that, okay, because I have nothing to back that up. Jack S. knows. Jack S. tells Kaylee and Maddie everything. Maddie tells Adam L. everything. Adam notifies the Davids. Okay? So what's interesting about this is the only thing that I can find that would completely align with the conversation that was being had between the girls and Jack S. Jack S., what did you tell Adam? Maddie, I told Adam everything. They're gonna get you, girls. This is the only story that has aligned with that conversation, is because Jack S. had told Kaylee and Maddie everything that he knew, and then Maddie went and told Adam absolutely everything, and then Adam was like, no. So it says Adam notifies the Davids, and they rally their troops and scope out 1122 King and is seen by Buddy's drunk sister on the way there. Adam sees Maddie, Kaylee, Jack S. head to the food truck. David L. picks up Adam L. from the corner club. See Kaylee and Maddie and Jack S. still together. Reconvene at David L.'s house with the boys and then meet up with David B. Kaylee and Maddie head home from the food truck and Jack S. heads to cabin in the middle of the night. So that's where that rumor came from, but Jack S. did not go to a cabin in the middle of the night. take Genesis and meet up with Jack in stolen Elantra. David B. waits at the Genesis. The boys take the Elantra to Deacon parking. Adam waits at the Elantra. Jack D and David L walk over. And then it says that two people they put the clothes in backpacks with knives, put on baggy clothes, return to the Elantra and head back to Genesis. One person ditches the Elantra and backpack evidence. The rest drive home and maintain alibis. Again, I know this is someone just writing on a forum, but there's lots of information that does fit in directly to the storyline and the things that we can see on camera footage. There's also this very distinctive timeline that someone wrote out here with actual times. November 12th of 2022, 9 p.m. Ethan and Xana attend a party at Sigma Chi. At some point in the night, they get into an argument with David L and David B about their pre-existing feud and the fact that David B failed at tutoring Ethan. Okay, well, that also aligns with the story because Ethan was on academic probation from the fraternity. November 13th at 1:30 a.m., Maddie, Kaylee, Jack D, Jack S, and Adam are all seen together on CCTV at the Corner Club. At some point, Maddie tells Adam everything, possibly because she heard it from Jack S. November 13th at 1:35, Maddie, Kaylee, and Jack S are walking from the Corner Club to the food truck as seen on CCTV. A white Super Duty, David L, en route to Corner Club to pick up Adam L and Jack D, drives by. A conversation between Jack S, Maddie, and Kaylee occurs. Jack S, you guys are in trouble. They are going to get you girls. Kaylee, Maddie, what did you say to Adam? Maddie, like I told him everything. November 13th, 1:40 a.m. Jack S, Maddie, and Kaylee can be seen at the food truck on CCTV. White Super Duty carrying David L, Adam L, and Jack D drives by in the reflection and revs engine. 1:45 a.m. Maddie and Kaylee get a private ride home. Jack S takes off to the family cabin in the middle of the night. Now, again, Jackass doesn't have an alibi. So did Jackass leave in the middle of the night? I don't know, because he says he did all these things, but he's not seen on any camera footage. So did he do those things? Or did he not do those things? He says he went to go get beer and he went to go to McDonald's, but there's absolutely nothing of him on any CCTV footage, and that is in the documents. 1:40 to 2:30 a.m. David L, Adam L, and Jack D meet up with David B and his family's white Elantra to switch to the Super Duty for David L's mom's Genesis G70. 2 to 2:40 a.m. Numerous missed calls and texts from Kaylee and Maddie to Jack D. 2:30 to 3 a.m. David L, Adam L, and Jack D and David B meet up at Deacon parking in separate vehicles, Elantra and Genesis. They proceed to take the Elantra to 1122 King Road while Adam L waits at the Genesis at Deacon. 3 to 4 a.m. David L and Jack D proceed into the victim's home while David B waits nearby at the Elantra. Jack D takes the victims on the 3rd floor while David L takes the victims on the 2nd floor. They put on baggy clothes and place weapons and bloody clothes in black backpacks, and they return to the Elantra. 3:30 to 5 a.m. meet up with Adam L and they all go home to maintain alibis while one person ditches evidence in Garden City. So again, these are just very distinctive details that align and fit perfectly with what we have seen and heard on video footage. We see, 4 people leaving from King Road House. We see someone that appears to be a driver, someone that is driving around waiting to pick people up. So I'm just curious, did we look into this? Did we actually check to make sure that the alibis that they gave the police were actually alibis? Because I was home all night, but no one can vouch for me, and there's no camera footage of me is not an alibi. I live alone and I went home, but no one knows that is not an alibi. I was playing video games all night, but I was in my room and nobody saw me is not an alibi. So again, how did we check out these people to make sure that they were actually where they said they were? Because this is odd. And again, is this just another strange coincidence that someone knew all of this information about this group of people? I mean, it's just giving that someone knows what happened and they don't want to be responsible for repeating what happened.